Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye has friends. No, really, Jeff has friends. Jeff's friends are on this podcast. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship. Jeff Dye's friendship.
Friendship.
Welcome back, guys, to Jeff Dye's Friendship Podcast. Episode 3 is a doozy because we don't have just one guest, we have two guests. Halfway through the episode, or a little into the episode, Sean Waltman, in true professional wrestling gimmick, just comes on in. Just no regard for the guest or the podcast that's happening. He just waltzes in. But he's always welcome here, and that's what I've set that precedent on this podcast, that the friends are always welcome, and that's what friendship is. So I said we were happy to have him. Aaron Marsh, not as happy to have him because he finally got his own microphone, and he's immediately sent into a stool next to the podcast thing. But that's all right. The guests, to give you a quick, we're going to talk about them, and you'll get to know them on this episode. But the guests are my buddy Clayton Thomas, who's a hilarious comedian who puts sketches on his Instagram like every single day that make me laugh. And he's just a good guy. And then the other guy is Sean Waltman, he used to be a professional wrestler. He still technically wrestles in the independent circuits, but his gimmicks in wrestling was X-Pac, Six, and the 1-2-3 Kid, which is my favorite one when I was young. If you subscribe to this podcast, thank you. If you don't subscribe to the podcast, please do. Please rate and review it. Also, if you're a Patreon subscriber, you can watch this podcast. So you're looking at me right now. If you'd like to look at me right now and you've been listening to this, just go over to patreon.com/Jeff Dye, subscribe, and you can check it all out. Otherwise, you can listen to this for free on anywhere podcasts are available. Enjoy episode 3, you little creepers. Welcome back to the Jeff Dye Friendship Podcast. I got to say, first of all, I'm just so excited to be doing this. I love doing this. I don't know why I didn't start a podcast sooner, because I just get to hang out with all the people I like as much as I want. It makes me so happy. Let's go around the house. Welcome back, everyone. Let's see who's in the house. We got Tony Reavis.
Always.
As usual, always. The, what's the guy's name?
Andy Richter.
The Andy Richter to my Conan.
Yeah.
We got Aaron Marsh, house heel in the house.
The Jimmy Vivino to your Conan.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 3 in a row.
Marsh, you're my favorite. I hope you're on every episode.
Yeah, I hope
you're like
so
the
too.
Cal Ripken of this podcast. You don't own the Orioles, but you're here, you know?
Exactly.
You're here every day. And I'm so excited for today's guest. The greatest, the second I met this dude, I fell into friendship with him. He's got a great attitude. He slays it at the Comedy Magic Club. I was like, I just love this guy's, one, he's very funny. And 2, he's very likable. And 3, he's very well received by everyone he meets. But I will say something, energy. You've got a great energy and vibe, and it's contagious, and it's fun to be around. And ladies and gentlemen, Clayton Thomas in the house.
Yeah, yo.
Thank you. That was
I mean that from my
beautiful.
heart. You're the
Wow.
best. Yeah, we
Did
love
not
being around.
expect
We
that.
actually talk about you when you're not around. We say, isn't
Yes.
Clayton the best?
Yeah,
That's
absolutely. You're the most giving comedian I've ever met in my whole
Yeah,
life.
Oh,
generous with your
man.
laughter, generous with your
Compliments.
words. Yeah.
Man, y'all are so funny. It's always dope hanging with y'all. So it's like, man, thank y'all, man.
Yeah, of course. And we have a lot in common. You like comedy? Well, you do comedy, obviously, but you like wrestling.
Oh,
We
my
love
God.
wrestling. And you love like show business. In fact, a funny story about Clayton is one time he was coming over for a wrestling party that I have at my house once a month for pay-per-views. And Clayton goes, "You won't believe who I just saw at the gas station." Now, when you hear that in your head, you think, oh man, he must have saw like, we live in LA, so it's we're a little
Obama.
desensitized. We think, oh my gosh, that could be,
Yeah.
it could be
Brad
anyone.
Pitt.
Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, like any celebrity, Nicolas Cage or something. Who'd you see?
I saw the Roger Lodge that hosted Blind Date.
Roger Lodge. I've never
Let's
heard
give
of
everybody a
Roger
second to
Lodge
Google.
in my life. I've never heard of Roger Lodge in my life.
That's
Hilarious.
crazy. Listen, man, Roger Lodge, first of all, for all of those dating shows that were on the WB before it became the CW in the late 90s, early 2000s was Blind Date, The Fifth Wheel, Eliminate, all of these shows that were just primetime dating shows, and Roger Lodge started it all with Blind Date. And I used to watch that show. They did like over 200 some episodes, and I watched every one that I could, dude. So to see that guy, I was like, it's Roger Lodge. And his son was like, yeah, it's my dad. And I was even happier for him to see somebody fan out over his father. And we took the picture, man.
He did you dirty though, didn't he? Didn't you say he was like a little too cool? He played a little too cool.
Little too cool.
Yeah.
I was like, hey man, can I get a picture? He's like, yeah. Let me fill up these basketballs because he had like 10 basketballs.
Unbelievable. He made you wait to fill some basketballs.
Yeah.
I think. Did you have to Google his name to figure?
No. I
See,
know
that's
Roger
that's
Lodge.
what is incredible to me.
Man.
I might say, oh, that's the guy from Breaking Bad, or that's the guy from Blind Date. You knew his name.
I know.
Yeah, he owes you like
Take the
A-list,
pictures
like, hey, here's
before
some
the
photos.
basketball.
Yeah, you want some autographed basketball for your family?
That would
or
be a
something? I don't
sweet
know.
autographed basketball.
That'd be amazing.
Roger Lodge, dude.
He's
like,
the greatest.
Man, I can't believe you've never seen Blind
But
Date.
you're the greatest for like making that moment for him. Like when I get recognized at an airport or something, it's like the greatest feeling in the world, and I hope other people are seeing it. I'm like, yeah, you guys see it? You guys should also be wondering who I am. You did that for Roger Lodge, and he still did you dirty.
You know, the flip side of it is when people don't know who somebody about to be. And what I mean by that is about 2 years ago, I was at the Comedy Store, and I ran into Chadwick Boseman for like the third time that week, right?
Who's Chadwick Boseman?
Chadwick
Black Panther,
Boseman
dog.
is Black Panther.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, good.
So,
So I thought it was going to be another. You're like, the host of Single Ladies on.
Can
You're like,
you
that's not
believe it?
a.
No. So I run into him like 2 other times that week. The first time was at a Big Sean concert at the House of Blues before it shut down.
Yeah.
And then I saw him the next night at the Comedy Store, and I'm like, man, we got to get a picture. So we're taking a picture, and I'm like, dude, do you know, can we curse?
Of course.
I was like, do you know how fucking big you're about to be?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, you know, man, he's just super
He's
humble.
playing it cool. I
And I'm
love
like,
that.
man, I got to get this picture with you now because I'm not going to see you in 2 years, right?
See, but also
Not without a
that's
bodyguard.
But
Facts.
that's also what makes you great. Like what we were talking about earlier, the fact that you're willing to say that sentence to him, like build him up and let him know, hey,
yeah.
you're part of something special. You should like embrace this moment because you're about to be next level, like in a week. And then he was cool about it, and he was nice.
good. The people around, I remember one lady was like, oh, I guess I need to take a picture with whoever he is. And I'm like, you don't even
how it
know.
That's what I was talking about earlier. What I hope happens.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, who are you? Come over here. I don't know.
But it's like with people like you, Marsh, Reavis, it's like you meet these people in this business. You know, this business is so dark, man. And so many people have like bitter energy that when you meet cool cats, you're like, oh shit, people are actually still cool nowadays. And it just makes
Absolutely.
you even more cool with them, man.
Let's do this. Who is the most famous person you've ever met?
The most famous, see that's
Second to Roger Lodge, please.
yeah.
the most famous person I've ever met, Eddie Murphy.
That's
I got a
up
chance
there.
to kick it at his crib.
Wait, at his house?
Yeah, man. My manager at the time, I moved out here when I was 21. So I'm 31 now. And my manager at the time was like, hey, what you doing tonight? I'm like, obviously nothing. I know nobody here. Like, what's up? And he's like, you want to go to Eddie Murphy's house? I'm like, come on, man. Like, don't fuck with me, dude. Like, you can tell me anybody else. Tell me we going to Tommy Davis's house. Don't tell me Mike freaking
We could hang
Eddie
at Tommy
Murphy.
Davidson's house tonight if we want. On Easter, just no
invite.
invite.
just pop by.
Just say, man, what's going on?
So Eddie Murphy, and we go, and I'm thinking it's a joke until I see this castle of a home, and we're walking through like 67 living rooms. Like every living room looked different couches, different rooms.
That's
all
how
this
he's
stuff.
living.
Yeah,
He's got so many living rooms.
It's for every
swear.
persona he's played in every movie.
That's
It's just
incredible timing. So Pluto Nash, you got coming to
Yeah,
the
they're all
house.
themed.
yeah.
Oh,
Every
that'd
Nutty
be
Professor
amazing.
family member has a different room.
Yo.
The Haunted Mansion living room's a little bit of a letdown, but
Yeah.
you know.
But in hindsight, so and we end up going down to the movie theater, and we have to pass his bowling alley to get to his movie theater.
Jeepers.
And we go in, and the first person I see is Arsenio Hall, and I'm like, oh shit, hey, how you doing?
Yeah, he's the best.
Then I see Johnny Gill, and I'm like, oh man, Johnny Gill is just here chilling. Then at the top in a little throne, you see Eddie Murphy, and I'm shaking to meet him, and the movie's going on. This is Why Did I Get Married Part 1 by Tyler Perry is playing for some reason, and I'm watching the movie, and I'm like, man, this is a good ass movie, and Eddie starts low key heckling the movie. Like he's saying funny stuff during
His
the movie.
own movie?
It's like he's not in it, but it's like he's just watching it.
That's so funny.
And I'm such a movie guy, and this is something y'all don't know about me. I love movies so much that I am quiet until the big music starts playing. If I want to hit you with a joke, then we're back to
Sure.
what's going on. So Eddie's talking over some key parts, and I had to give him the. But I couldn't.
That
You
is
know.
amazing.
But man, Eddie Murphy, dude, he's to me, he's the king. You know, outside of Richard Pryor, obviously. But it's
How
like,
did you react to meeting him? Like, was there any,
Were you
like,
able
being
to play it
starstruck
cool?
or-
I was not able to play it cool whatsoever. I thought I was playing it cool, and I asked him a question. I said, "Hey, man, how do you stay so relative?" And he's like, "I think you mean relevant." And I'm like, "Oh yeah." And he
Yeah, tomato,
answered,
potato, man.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then they're playing music in the background. This is gonna sound like the most Hollywood story, trust me. But so at that point, when I asked him that question, apparently security let somebody in and said, "Hey man, Chris is down here." And I'm like, "Oh man, I wonder which Chris this is," right? Chris Tucker walks in
Nice.
with Stevie Wonder's daughter at the time. Now the song "Isn't She Lovely?" Isn't she?
Yeah.
Lovely?
Yeah.
All that. This is the daughter that this is about. So she comes in.
Is she still
hand in
lovely?
hand. She was actually very lovely.
Okay.
Actually, were there anyone that wasn't wildly famous at this party? This is incredible.
No.
Yeah, like I would feel like, oh, I need to get my credits up
Dude,
to hang out at
I'm
this place.
21 thinking like, I don't do drugs, but I'm like, am I high?
I'm
Like,
gonna have to do
yeah.
drugs.
So, and you know, they always ask you the question. They're like, "Hey man, when you get to Hollywood, are you gonna do some cocaine?" You be like, "I would never." But if it would have came
If
up,
they'd have asked you, you'd be
Yeah,
like, I have to do it
absolutely.
tonight.
I would have if it came up. So, so all of these celebrities at this party, and it's just like a get together. And then "Fire and Desire" by Rick James comes on, and Chris starts singing it, and I start singing it with him. Right? I'm like,
Nice.
"Fuck
Wait, you
yeah."
sound like you sing good. Do you sing good? You got a nice
Man,
voice.
I can carry a note for like a second, but
Okay.
if you want like a song, I'm not the guy.
Revis.
Same here?
Secret talent. He sings good.
Really?
Yeah, he's just trying to act like he didn't, but we was downstairs one day and he sang like a thing. And then I kind of kept it under my hat because we were recording. But then later I was like, hey, you just dropped that on everyone. Like, and he's like, yeah, dude, I'm like a trained
I do.
singer. He's
Yeah.
good.
Trained as well?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, not really. I went to theater school, so like I took some singing classes.
That's
That is training.
I
Yeah.
guess. Okay.
What?
A little bit.
Who I actually want to hear everyone's. What's the most famous person you've met, Revis?
One time. So when I was graduating in college,
Mm-hmm.
I had a meeting with my now agents.
Mm.
And it was like my first like step into like the professional world. And when I moved out to LA, I was always like, you know what? If I see someone like, I'll be like, oh, okay, that's cool, but I'm not gonna bother people. Like I know that they're just people. But there's always one person I was like, man, if I
I
meet,
think that's a natural thing for everyone. Everyone's got a guy that you're
Right.
willing to embarrass yourself.
yeah. Right.
I'm gonna go have that moment.
Right.
I deserve this
and there was
moment.
only there was only one, and it was Donald Glover, just because you know I do music and I do I'm an actor and everything. So like he does all that stuff. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
he's the best.
that's my guy, right? Because he's doing everything I want to do. And I go have my meeting with my agents.
Tony's also like 9 years younger than us.
Whoa,
I
how
am.
old are you?
I'm 26.
Oh, okay.
Which
How old are
Donald
you?
Glover's
I'm
got to be,
35.
what, 27,
Oh,
28
I
or
thought you were
something now?
27 this whole time.
No,
Maybe
no,
30.
I'm
I
31,
wish.
so now I feel better. But
Yeah.
26.
Yeah, I'm 26.
How old are you, Marsh?
36.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, this is the first time we're all telling our ages.
Yeah. It gets. We cut that part out.
Like, wait a minute.
Oh, yeah. It's Hollywood listening. I was 33.
yeah, wait.
Yeah.
27.
Right. But so I had this meeting, and it was like an episode of Entourage to me. Like I walk up there, and I'm like, all right, they'll see you now, and I go back, and I just like office after office, like people on phones and hanging. I was like, what am I doing? Have a great meeting or whatever, and I'm sitting at the valet waiting for the car to come, and I turn around, and there was Donald Glover.
Nice.
And it was the weekend of the Grammys when he was nominated for his second album. And I was like, oh my God, that's Donald Glover. So I kind of like, I'm sitting there, he's talking to someone, and I'm like, I don't want to bug him. So I keep just kind of waiting for him to find a moment. I'm just like inching my way closer.
Yeah. It's like trying to get into double dutch. You're
Yeah,
like,
just
do
kinda
I?
like going in and
Is
out.
now? No.
And I didn't do the smart thing and like think of something to say while I was
Oh.
waiting. I was
Yeah.
still just like, is this happening? Especially on like my first like real world thing after college. And I finally slide my way in there once his like manager, whoever it was, left. And I was just like, oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm just, I know I was always told by my teachers and stuff, like if you meet someone, like you got to treat them like, they're a
Regular.
colleague, right? Because you
Yeah.
want to be in the
Yeah, yeah.
business too, so you don't like fan out.
Sure.
So I'm just like, oh, I respect your work. Like, I love what you do. And he's like, oh, thanks, man. Great. And I didn't have anything else to say after that. And I was like, oh, yeah, man, I've been like listening to you for a while. He's like, just like, thank you. Like he could tell that I was
rattled,
losing.
nervous,
Yeah,
and
he was just
happy.
very nice.
Yeah.
But that's not how I expect it to go. When you meet, like your hero, you think you're
Yeah.
just gonna be like, oh, thanks, man. Like, we're about to go play a pickup game of basketball. We need a fifth. You want to
Yeah,
play?
exactly.
Yeah, let's do it.
You're
That's
hoping-
that's
you're
how I
hoping you're
thought it
friends
would-
for life
That's how
after
I
that.
thought it would go in my
You know
head
what's
for
funny?
years.
When you say
But-
that, of course, after I botched the Eddie Murphy meeting, I had gotten told, hey, always compliment the thing that they don't get a lot of compliments on. I took
good.
that from that point on. So it's like when you meet somebody like, let's say you meet Holly Berry, right?
Sure.
And instead of saying, oh, I loved you in Swordfish or Monsters Ball, you say, hey, let me tell you something. You did a movie called Babs. And oh my God, you were amazing.
She's like, you saw that? Yeah,
That's how
exactly.
they react
Yeah,
every
for sure.
time. Then that's your end. Now you're a little more comfortable and you can say what you really want to say.
That's also interesting because, like, what if you haven't seen their thing and you're like looking it up, and she's like, "What was your favorite scene on Babs?" And you're like, "I don't know."
Remember when you fought that pit bull? What? I didn't fight it.
You have to make things up. Like, she's like, "That didn't happen this way." What's up, my man? We got in the house. Look at this guy. This is what the Friendship Podcast's all about right here. We got a dog. Sean in the house. Sean,
How
say
you
hello
doing,
to
man?
everyone. This
How
is
you guys doing?
Clayton,
Hey,
Nice to
Tony.
my pleasure. Hey,
You
man.
know me. You just met Aaron.
Yeah,
Well, who's your friend?
this is
here?
Lula.
Who's your
Lula.
friend?
Yeah. I don't know Lula yet.
You saw her when you
Yeah, when you're
passed-
walking her. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah,
Well,
I
welcome,
don't live.
man.
I live like probably half a mile from here. Right?
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
This is perfect.
Neighbors.
This
Yeah.
works out great for hanging out and
Yeah.
also on the podcast
On the
now. This is
podcast.
perfect.
Hey,
we
is
go.
this the place that I came to when I was with Scott?
No. That was,
I
but it
didn't
was
think so.
close. Yeah,
Okay.
but this is just, now I own instead of renting.
Ooh.
Right on.
Yeah.
Fancy.
Hey, moving on up. It's actually cheaper than
Congratulations.
renting. Let's introduce him. I met you years ago with my buddy Sean Jacoby.
Yeah.
And you came with Ray's Ramon to my house.
That's
it was
right.
It was such a great moment. I think I told it off. Were we recording when I talked about it?
I don't
No.
think so.
Okay, so I'll just tell the story. My buddy Sean texts me and he goes, "Hey, are you at your house?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm at my house. What's up?" He goes, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm just watching baseball." He goes, "But you're in town." I was like, "Yeah, I'm in town." He seemed so like urgent. And I was like, he goes, don't leave your house for a couple hours. And then I was like, well, I got a girl come over. He's like, no, tell her not to come over. Like, just be at your house for 2 hours. And I was like, oh, I was wondering, like, did he go through like a divorce or like a brother? Like, I don't know what. Like, Sean was gonna come over and be like, I need a friend and a beer or something. and then he shows up, and it's literally you, Sean Waltman, the 1, 2, 3 kid,
The one and only.
X-Pac. Like, I
X-Pac.
grew up watching you, and I grew up watching Reavis Ramon, who I'm
Yeah.
like in love with also. And so I was like, this is insane. I was trying to play it cool, kind of like the
Yeah,
moment we were
yeah.
talking about. Where I was kind of like, hey guys, like it was no big, and there's like a toy of him like in my.
I see it. I'm
of
looking
both
at it
you
right
guys.
now.
Yeah, so we pulled the loose one out.
Oh
The,
wow, you have a loose one.
Yeah, we took one
I've
of each.
actually haven't seen one out of the package in
Yeah,
a
it's
long
great.
time. The like in package are worth like $300.
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
Well, mine says to Jeff, so I'm not getting rid of it.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not
Facts.
selling mine, baby.
Unless you sell
But
it to another
welcome.
Jeff.
Thanks
Hey,
for
thanks, man.
Thanks for hanging out. I
I'm
love
glad-
that we're neighbors.
Yes, and I'm glad we could finally connect.
Absolutely. I'm
You
happy.
know, like every time you've mentioned, hey, come by, I've always been like out of town.
What are you doing are you going to do like signings and appearances and stuff for WrestleMania?
Yeah, I'm doing like I have Saturday. I have a 9 a.m. to noon access signing.
Nice.
And
Yeah, that's
then-
that's a big thing for wrestlers, right?
Yeah,
On
that-
WrestleMania, you guys get to
Sure. Yeah, and it's just like all the other stuff that's built around it,
Mhm.
like other like promotions and different
fanfare
things.
and all that.
Yeah, like 100,000 people come in from out of town for that.
It's insane.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
I would say
it's
that I would
incredible.
rather, like we always talk about me and Aaron, like I would rather go to that part of WrestleMania than the actual WrestleMania.
And what's interesting
Yes.
this year, they have all the different like independent shows, but like
Yeah.
the state commission's coming down on like the moves that
Yeah,
people
no
can
power
do. and stuff.
bombs, no pile
Yeah.
drivers.
You can't do
Yeah.
high flying stuff. You can't do.
Well,
Wait,
that's
no
why
power bombs
Japan's
either?
Yeah.
dominating then, like or not dominating, but they're doing so well.
Here's the thing, though. When it comes to that rule you're talking about, WWE's exempt from it,
Right.
and so is ROH.
Yeah.
Because they have
Because
money.
they're like the major league groups, right?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Never mind.
And and I don't like to defend athletic commissions at all, but in Louisiana's state athletic commission's defense, there was a case in the 90s, I think it was in the 90s or early 2000s, where somebody got paralyzed and millions of dollar judgment on,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the athletic commission got stuck with it. So I understand like where they're
If you're
coming
running
from.
it, yeah, for sure.
Sort of. I just don't like commissions. I think that they stifle like. They don't do what they're supposed to do. They come, they take a blood pressure and a pulse, and then they leave.
Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah.
You know, but they take their 10% before they leave.
Oh, absolutely.
You got to get that,
Yeah.
right?
Gotta
Yeah,
get
it's
that.
a Vince rule. Well, so we were talking right before Lulu came in. The most famous person Clayton's ever hung out with is Eddie Murphy. He was
Sweet.
saying Donald Glover. That was the guy who's most starstruck.
Yeah.
Well, I would love to hear who's the most famous
yeah.
dude? Like some of you just like starstruck. Like I can't believe I'm
Sylvester
meeting.
Stallone.
That's a good
What?
one. That's
Yeah.
a great
Oh,
one.
wow.
How'd you meet him? Or what was the circumstance?
I work with Maria Menounos,
Okay.
and I was at a
Jealous.
birthday
I love
party.
her. I hate that she's in a relationship.
Right? He's like one of my best friends.
Well, I still hate that they're in a relationship.
They're married now.
I love her.
Kevin Undergirl. But anyways, I work with them, and I was at a birthday party last year, and he was there. And so,
That's great.
here's the crazy part, right? Like and I don't care usually about people, but I was all like, kind of,
Yeah,
I
little
wouldn't go over there,
starstruck,
I
yeah.
didn't want to concern and he actually like yelled across the like we were outside in the backyard.
Yeah.
Hey, you look familiar, and I was like, so do you. So do
So do
you.
you.
And then so like I came out and actually he was talking to Adam Carolla. I think Adam Carolla got hot because he started wanting to talk to me about wrestling for the next 2
really?
hours. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that Sly watches wrestling.
Right?
Huge.
Yeah. That makes me
Huge.
so happy.
Man, that's dope, dude. Sylvester Stallone?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is a weird one. I was just in Tampa last week, which is another time we hung out, which was awesome.
Do you remember that?
One of my
How
favorite
could you-
stories. I tell the story. I would rather you tell the story, but when I was there, Hogan came to my show on Saturday,
Yeah.
and Brooke came, and it was really surreal for me to have like Hogan in the audience, like laughing at my jokes, and it's like 12
Brooke
years.
lives right down the street too, by the way.
Who does?
Brooke.
Oh yeah. Well, that's how I got him there. It's because she
okay.
was like, "Oh, we're gonna come to your show. I happen to be in Tampa." But one of the interesting things he was telling me was like he was showing me photos of in his phone of like that the Wrestling Classic had posted on Instagram of Hulk in the ring with it holding up his belt. He's got blood coming down, and in the front row is Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And so then I go, "Oh, do you still talk to Donald Trump?" And he's like, "Yeah, I texted." I was like, "What?" The idea of our president in the White House shooting off texts like to Hulk Hogan is the greatest thing I can ever picture in my brain.
Makes a lot of sense, actually.
It's amazing. Yeah,
Yeah,
makes
it
me
doesn't.
so
It's
happy.
not a big shocker, is it?
It's crazy to me. It makes me so happy to like think about that.
In a
Well, I
picture
mean-
with you and Hogan, you looked 5 years old.
Oh, so
I was so happy
yeah,
for you,
yeah.
dude.
Well, I'm kind of like that with all wrestlers. So like similar to what we've all expressed of like, we don't easily get starstruck.
Yeah.
But there's certain things that make you starstruck.
yeah.
And mine is wrestlers because that's I just love wrestling. And I've like always wanted to be in that world. I'm gonna meet every comedian. We're gonna meet every comedian because we're in comedy. So like I'm not allowed to gush when I see like Jerry Seinfeld. I just have to be
Yeah.
like, yeah, you're, the
Yeah.
superior of my world. But when you meet wrestlers, it takes me back to like, oh yeah, like watched you luger rack a guy, and then so and so did a moonsault. Like it's just like all that's still in there somewhere.
It's okay to mark out for that kind of thing when it's
Yeah.
not someone in your own industry. I think it's a
Absolutely.
lot more acceptable,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely. Like yeah, you can't go to like the porn conventions and be like, oh, I watched all your movies. Like, you want to play that cool,
You gotta play it cool.
Unfortunately, people do that at those conventions.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
That's
probably where it happens most.
works against them for
Yeah.
sure. So I want you to tell that story when we were in Tampa. And I was just so happy you were at my show and we were hanging out, we were having a good time. And when we're on our drive to a different place, there was like some teenagers.
They were. I don't think they were teenagers, man.
Like
they were young
20-year-olds.
people.
Like, yeah, they were younger than me. I
They
know
were like
that.
college
Yeah.
students or drunk.
Just tough guys.
Yeah, acting tough. They were okay. I was in
This is
I
amazing.
was in like a Mustang convertible, right? And we were
Yeah.
driving down Dale Mabry, which is like strip club capital. I mean, it's just it's a really crazy
Busy
street
yeah.
in Tampa, and these assholes were. Am I allowed to say assholes? on here?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Okay.
And also, we can edit out anything you don't want either.
Just
Yeah.
more work for me, but no,
Sponsors.
you can say anything you want.
Yeah, no, they were just, obnoxious.
Cutting people off, zigging.
In and out of lanes, yelling at people and people were like, it wasn't cool, right? And so I don't know. I'm sorry, by the way.
No, it
'cause
was the best thing that's ever happened to me. It makes you're gonna love this.
I pulled up, drove up next to him as we're driving down, and I said, pull that fucking car over right now and I'll beat beat the fuck out of every last one of you. And they shut the fuck up.
All,
Oh my
like,
God.
there's probably
And
like, there's
just-
like 3 there in the back of this pickup, and then like 2 in that little
Yeah.
backseat area where you're cramped, and then like 2 driving, and they just think they're the coolest guys. And also, it's just me and him. And,
the two of us.
and he's just with that deep voice, like, you pull that shit up. And they're like, all of them just like turned into like boys, like, oh God, like
Yeah.
someone that can actually
An
be
actual man has pulled up
Yeah.
to it.
And also, before you did it, you go, watch this. Like, like, it wasn't like we were going to fight these kids, but it was the most amazing.
No, I already knew what the response was going to be before I did it.
Incredible.
Yeah,
I don't
that
ever get
was
to be
fun.
that guy. I've never, like, I could have yelled out that car all I wanted. They'd have been like, look at this loser, you know?
Hey, I
Like,
think
you
I-
did, it was amazing. You just, like, completely sold it.
I think I killed their buzz, Jeff.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was like my
Fuck
favorite
those
thing.
guys. They didn't deserve that buzz.
Oh, forget them. We don't need them.
Yeah.
It's the voice. Your voice is so friendly
Yeah.
and calming.
Hey,
so
you pull over, guys. You're like, what? You pull over right now. You
I'm going
cut
to
off
have to
that
kick your
car.
guys' ass.
pull over that car right now.
Where are you from, Clayton? We were trying to
Oh, man.
earlier. We were like, we knew you were gonna be here.
Yeah.
And so we were like, what? You're Detroit, right?
Yeah, Detroit, man.
Okay.
Born and raised.
Is
Came
that-
out here.
2 points for me. I knew it.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
I called
He
Nice.
called it. I, was like, is it
remember.
California?
Yeah,
But I
that
couldn't
was
remember.
last
Yeah,
I used to
yeah.
always want to be from California because of Saved by the Bell.
Okay.
I used to watch.
weird.
First of all, biggest Saved by the Bell fan ever alive. You understand me? But I used to watch it. And I'm
That
like,
is not
oh,
very Detroit stereotypical.
I
No.
know.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely
Nothing
not.
about what I'm into is Detroit, like stereotypical
Yeah.
dude. I love Saved by the Bell. So I was like, I want to live in LA like Zach Morris.
Yeah.
And I came out here and I'm like, this is not like they showed it on Saved by the Bell, but I love it.
Where'd you move?
I moved the first place that getting off the plane at LAX, the hotel that I stayed at, or motel, was called the Starlight Inn on La Brea in Washington.
Yeah. Don't
I
they
was
advertise
like,
that they have color TV?
Oh my
Yes.
God.
They have a sign that says we like wait
Air
color
conditioning,
TV?
too.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
should have these things.
Yeah, that's
I
like
was
how
like, I
old is
don't
this
like this.
sign?
But when I got to Hollywood, I took the bus to Hollywood to go to the Laugh Factory the first day I was here. And then I was like, oh, this is where Zach Morris was. Like that kind of
Absolutely.
energy. I love it, man.
Where do you live now? Like where city did you move?
Right
so you don't
now-
live in the same, obviously.
No. I bounced around from Glendale to North Hollywood to West Hollywood, back to North Hollywood. And now I'm in Burbank.
Nice. And you
right
love
by
the Valley.
Warner Brothers. Oh my God.
I
The
love the
Valley's
Valley.
the best place ever.
Once
I
I,
need
came
to
to the
get to
Valley,
the Valley.
I've never
You
wanted to
can't.
move anywhere else.
I
We have
never
no
thought I
traffic.
would want to live in the Valley because I used to live in West LA, the Marine, all that,
Yeah.
and in Beverly Hills a little bit. And I used to come over here just to get drugs. I had a cocaine dealer over here. Actually, right
But
down the
even the
road.
cocaine dealer is like, I'm never leaving the Valley.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
we're all,
No, legit. That guy literally is on Moore Park and
yeah.
I mean, really close to here.
That's
Too
so-
specific.
You need your stuff.
All right. Anyways,
What's his name? I need names, Aaron.
Yeah.
no. Anyways, yeah. What was I saying that for?
No, just that you
Moved
thought
to
you'd never
Valley.
live in the Valley. You
Oh,
only
yeah,
came over
no,
for that.
yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
the best. But like, I remember
No,
like
I
when I
love
lived
it.
on Hollywood Boulevard, I had like, if I want to go to the post office, I had to mark off like 45 minutes of my day.
It's the worst.
I was like, all
'Cause I
right,
live
I'm
on
gonna have to
Hollywood
get
Boulevard
there,
now.
and there's gonna be a
Sucks.
line, and then I have to like come back and like parking, everything.
Yep.
But like, I can get everything done in
In the
like an
Valley.
hour.
Yeah.
Man, I went on an audition the other day. First of all, I have a truck and I have a scooter, and I'm gonna tell you why I have the scooter. I had an audition at Fox, which is like off Pico, then Century City,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Oh, that's
Smart
time of day,
idea.
dude."
If I see where you're going with this.
I'm getting on the scooter because if I took the truck, I'd have been there. It took hours, man, but it took me 30 minutes because the scooter you can bob and weave, dude.
You're just
Yeah.
like scooting on the sidewalk, like
No. I'm in the
Driving
street.
past
I'm in
lanes?
traffic. I'm just going between
Oh, wow.
cars. I go straight past all the traffic jams. It's the best.
I just
That's
gotta be
genius
careful,
because
though.
yeah, you could park somewhere for free
Yeah.
and then just take the scooter out. But wait, where do you park the scooter when you go into the thing?
Now, here's the best part about having a scooter. Is since it's not a motorcycle, people don't trip where you park it.
That's
so
good.
I parked
Wow.
it right by a trash can.
Does
And
it have
nobody
like a
even pays
disc
attention.
lock brake? Is that what it has?
Oh yeah, I have a lock, I have a kill switch, and of course I got the other stuff
you're
that you need
you're
there.
beating the world.
what I wish it was one of those razor scooters though, and you're just like kicking down the
Nah.
side.
That-
That
yeah.
would've been better. And you
That is
fold
what
it
I
up,
like
put
to
it on your
picture.
back, bring it into the audition, like put it down, like oh,
We can
excuse me,
picture
that's
that if we want.
ridiculous.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
way better. That's way better.
That's ridiculous.
That's genius though, because I have a scooter, but I don't have like anything I can put it in the back of.
You
have
got a scooter?
yeah, it's like called a fat scooter. They just gave me one for free.
Man.
Free plug to fat scooters right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, they gave me a fat scooter. It's just like a motorized scooter with like big fat tires.
Oh, okay,
The
okay.
problem that I'm finding with it, and I'm hoping Fat Scooter hears this, and maybe I'll email him after this,
You
but I
can
feel like
email
I'm getting greedy. They already gave me like a $2,000 scooter for
Uh-huh.
free. The problem is, I love riding it, but it's it's not fun to ride alone. Like when
Right.
you're just out there, people are like honking, like, what's wrong with that guy? But if it was me and one of my buddies and we both had one,
Yeah.
then people are like, oh, those guys are just having fun scooting around. It's definitely not it's not like an
Scooting
Uno,
around.
it's not like a one guy thing.
Yeah.
How fast does yours go?
It goes like 20 miles an hour. It's quick.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty cool. And it looks cool too, but it's like a beach cruiser thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you saw one guy on it at the Venice Beach, you'd think that's normal. But around Sherman Oaks, like around the mall, like people are like, why does that guy? They're like hot girls in Beamers just like looking at me like, what a loser.
I walk everywhere I need to go.
Yeah.
I walk.
It's right here.
Yeah.
Well, I was afraid that you were moving because you tweeted like, who wants this like coffee table? And I was like, oh no, is he already like leaving the valley? I just saw him.
No, that was Ron Funch's coffee table.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
That's so funny. Wait, so that's actually
He lives over here too.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So Ron Funches is such a particular guy on like who he lets in and who he doesn't let in. I'm not surprised he let you in because you're the greatest. You're a wrestler.
Legendary.
And he loves wrestling. But that being said, how did you get paired up with Ron Funches? Like I would love to know how that
He's
happened.
a huge wrestling fan.
Yeah.
Biggest wrestling, one of the biggest I know.
There you
and,
go.
And just
One
is a
of-
really nice guy. And
Yeah.
I met him at a Rhode Island Comic Con a few
Nice.
years back.
As a fan, like he just came to the Comic-Con?
We were both there. I was there signing, and he was there performing.
Oh,
nice.
nice.
I sat, yeah, and so then we
Perfect.
just talked forever and
Yeah, for sure.
spoke to a bunch of pot,
Yeah.
which is what
Ron
What
Funches
we
is
do
the type of
together a
guy.
lot.
He's like Mike Lawrence, where he's a comedian, but he like loves wrestling way more than anything else in
Yeah.
his life. And I think there's a difference between what I know, what I'm good at, and what I love. So like I'm good at things, but I might I'm not good at baseball, but I love baseball. I'm not good at video games, but I love video games. And wrestling, turns out I don't know that much. I just really love it, and I've liked it my whole life. So like I'll have a conversation with Mike Lawrence, and he'll be like, "They did that in 1989, like on a Raw," and you're like, "Oh, I
he
didn't."
knows.
Yeah, and that's how Ron is too. Wow. It's
Wow.
almost not fun to talk to him because I'll be like, "How come they've never?" And he's like, "They
getting
did that with
fact-checked.
Kane
Yeah.
in 2003."
That's
I was
right.
like, I didn't know. I
Yes.
thought we were just having a
Excuse
fun.
me. Yeah.
the type of wrestling fan that you are, Jeff, is the type that enjoys it much more than the
Absolutely.
Mike
I bet.
Lawrences and the Rons.
Yeah.
And they love it.
Yeah, they love it.
Actually, Ron's a little like Mike could probably be a little bit more
extreme.
negative Nancy
Yeah.
than
Well,
Ron.
we lecture. Mike's not going to be mad to hear any of this because I've made this opinion very
He's real
clear to him.
critical, and
He's
I
gonna
just
love that you
and
said
he has
his
the right
name.
to be.
Absolutely.
I don't disagree with them on a lot of
Exactly.
that either.
Well, I think that Mike Lawrence suffers from a disease in wrestling where it's like because it wasn't his idea, it's the wrong idea. And it's like, no, like this is a different writer's idea or like a different wrestler's decision. That just because it wasn't what you would have done with this storyline doesn't mean it's like one of Mike Lawrence's things that we always reference, me and Aaron, is he was mad that Dean Ambrose wears clean shirts.
Ah,
We're
yeah.
like, what? He goes, well, if he's a crazy person, he wears a dirty shirt. In my brain, I look down and Mike Lawrence is wearing a dirty shirt. Which is really funny.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Yeah. But like what's so funny is that like I would never think that.
Yeah.
Maybe if you're a crazy person, WWE's gonna put a clean shirt on you and like that makes sense, like or whatever. But like he's just so committed to I just want it to be fun. I just
Yeah.
want him to have
Well, they
it.
have people already wearing dirty shirts. Yeah, the Whites wearing dirty
Man.
shirts too. You get
Well,
the same
they
thing.
used to.
Used to. Right,
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I think that like the thing about the group thread, we're on this group wrestling thread,
Yeah.
is you guys have made it fun again for me
Oh, I like
because
hearing
it's
that.
so genuine and everybody's like super hyped. So when things happen, like I used to watch it and I'm a writer, so I'm always looking like, if they could have just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Sure.
Or
Yeah.
is this gonna go where I think it's gonna go? So it's like with you guys, like something happened, I think maybe before Shane got powerbombed on SmackDown, and you guys had said something, and I was like, oh, I love these guys. Like it was just
Yeah.
so innocent.
Well, we watch the way kids watch it.
Yeah.
We're
That's
like,
the way to do it,
yeah,
man.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just happy with whatever they give me.
Yeah.
And then occasionally I'm like, I didn't want that guy to win. And then everyone's like, you didn't read the message boards? Everyone knew he was going to win. Or like, it was like, no, I don't
Yeah,
read
the only
that crap.
difference now when I watch it not like a kid is that like when I watched it as a kid, if you were a heel and you won, you'd make me cry.
Sure.
Because I wanted The Rock to win or whatever.
Yeah.
And it would like ruin my night at the end of a pay-per-view. Triple H went over on The Rock. I'm like, no!
Yeah.
And go to school the next day and complain about it. Now I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah. Well, now like there's this muddied moment. Like we were talking about this in the car, and I don't even know if I'll be able to reword this as well as we talked about it, Tony. But so like if let's say a bad guy wins, everyone will go, well, yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. He's the heel. You're supposed to hate him, right? But then if people start to like him, do you remember what we were talking about?
Yeah, it's just like with these days, it's like
You think that there's these rules you're supposed to follow.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
there's the bad guy you don't like, and then there's the good guy you love. And then like sometimes something will break that rule, and everyone will go, "Yeah, but that's how it's supposed to." Like they'll make up the rules
right,
as
like
they
it's
go.
different. Like back when you were there,
Yeah,
like,
the rules are, but it's when it's convenient. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
it's
Yes,
just,
exactly.
yeah.
That's what pisses me off. Because I'm like, I hate that guy. And they're like, yeah, but you're supposed to. I was like, no, but I don't hate him like that. I hate him because he's like bad at mic work and he's
Yeah.
annoying.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, you're supposed to hate him. No,
Not that way.
like that.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
supposed
yeah.
to think he
It's-
doesn't deserve the thing.
Right. That's the kind of when like they used. Okay, there's this thing called X-Pac heat. Have you ever heard of that?
Oh, yeah.
No, but
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear
It's
that.
in the Urban Dictionary.
yeah.
And it's a certain population in the a certain percentage of the online wrestling crowd toward the end of my in the late after DX, and I was kind of just real stagnant and
Okay.
for a while there, they really were sick of me.
Really?
Yes.
Well, a certain amount of people in the thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And even when I was doing really good stuff and really good heel work, that was received how it was supposed to be in front of the crowd.
Sure.
I mean, they weren't hearing it, and I used to get like hot. Oh, it's bullshit. There's no such thing as that. But I can't like say like, okay, those people's feelings weren't valid.
Well, those people are similar to what we were talking about earlier when you're like, they're taking it a little too,
little
you
too
know what I'm
much.
saying? Like now
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
become like personal to them, which is
Yeah.
like ridiculous.
To
Well,
be
they're
fair, I
going-
broke up with my last girlfriend over X-Pac heat. You know, like
Yeah.
she was doing everything right, and I was like, no.
It's a lot of it's based on like the people that hear backstage stories and that
Oh, yeah,
right,
which I hate
right.
that. There was
Yeah.
a wrestler, is now not with the company or whatever, and he's it's Enzo Amore.
Yeah.
And like I loved him. He was great with mic work. He
Yeah.
always dressed cool. I liked this guy so much.
Yeah.
And all my friends were like, yeah, but everyone in the locker room doesn't like him. And Roman Reigns kicked. And I was like, bro, I don't. Yeah, that's nothing to do with me.
Right.
I don't know
Yeah.
anything
And it
about
shouldn't.
the locker
Right.
room.
It's
I
all
don't-
true, but it shouldn't have
But I was
anything
like,
to do with
why
anything.
should I
Correct.
now absorb your opinions
Yeah.
of like, oh, is he hard to work with?
Yeah.
I don't work in that business.
That's what's pure about you. You watch it in the canon of the show.
Yes.
Like, when
He can
the show
separate.
starts, the show ends. That's what
Yeah,
you
and so then look,
recognize,
you
know?
have to hate Roman because all these other wrestlers. No, I like him.
like
He
him.
looks cool.
Yeah.
He's good at
Yeah.
wrestling. He's
Yeah.
he's
Two
fun.
things. Two things that I want to say to you. Number one, your reemergence into being brought back as X-Pac right after WrestleMania with Triple H was one of the greatest returns I've ever seen in my life.
thank you very
like
much.
the pop of the crowd. I remember
Huge.
that like none other.
Huge.
Number two, question. During DX time, this SmackDown is
Look at
around
this
now.
guest asking guest questions.
I mean,
That's
you
what
know,
I like about this.
So you guys, Tori, not Tori Wilson, but the
Yeah.
other Tori.
Terry
Tell me
Pac,
this.
Terry Power.
Terry Power?
She was Terry Power in LPWA and in Japan.
Oh, solid. You guys, and I know you'll give me a straight answer because you seem like a real motherfucker. So I'm asking this. Every time I saw her, she looked so good, and it looked like. What I want to know is, was somebody smashing?
No,
Nobody.
no,
Damn it!
but it almost happened one time.
That's,
But I
that's
was,
good.
but I was married,
Oh,
and
That's why I don't get married.
And it's not okay. I'm not going to say that I didn't cheat on my wife. I mean,
But not with her.
not with people I worked with.
respect.
All right.
Yes, bad idea, man.
I will
Yeah.
say, and I am pretty sure this is true. You're the only guy who did DX and NWO.
Really did it.
Sean,
Yeah, like
Sean
in the
did
main-
it. Sean did
Yeah.
it in when they came back to WWE,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, but
you-
that was
he's OG
not in the original.
Yeah,
like,
OG DX.
because there was a
OG
while
NWO.
when
Rick
everyone was.
Rude. Rick Rude. Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
a while, but he
Yeah.
wasn't in
He
DX
didn't-
or like that's not real.
He was
he
DX, but he wasn't in shirts DX. He was in the suit.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
He, like in the original factions of like both, like there's like no way.
Original
Because
DX.
by the way, everyone was in the NWO after a while. We
Yeah,
were in
oh,
the
yeah.
NWO, like it was like the least exclusive group in the
Yeah.
history of the. Universities have less people than the NWO,
Yeah.
but not many people. Like you were in the real DX and the real NWO.
This is why we made sure we were the Wolf Pack as well within the NWO.
Absolutely,
Right.
yeah. That was like my crew, man.
Yeah.
Because I like
Least
both.
exclusive.
It's true. I used to always joke. Actually, any comic that listens to this is gonna hate what I'm about to say. But like I used to joke that getting on Conan O'Brien to do stand-up comedy is about as exclusive as the NWO. They're like, oh, you're a comedian? Yeah, you're in. Let's do it this week. Like, that's like,
Hilarious.
but comics that use Conan as a credit don't appreciate that. Comparison, yeah. But it's kind of true. I mean, like there was a while that was my favorite. Like every week they got like such a big pop on like who was in the NWO.
Yeah.
Like who turned, and like then after a while they're like, let's just do this all the time.
Yeah.
It made me happy. But then there was a bunch of NWOs, right? There was the
Wolfpack.
Red
but then
and
the
white.
red and
Raiders.
white, and then didn't Conan have his own version or
Oh,
the
LWO.
Latino World Order.
yeah.
BWO.
I could talk
Oh, yeah,
about
yeah, yeah.
wrestling. I'll be honest. If you guys don't like wrestling, you should just not listen to this podcast.
It's the best, man. First of all, wrestling is the best story. Like they say, soap opera. It's the best male soap opera you will ever watch in your life.
Yeah.
Compared to, it's literally you watch an action movie, watch wrestling. You seeing the exact same guys who are in actually a little better shape than
Yeah.
any.
It's more real than Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the realest show on TV,
Man.
but it's also a show, which
Yes.
that's why we love it.
And if you feel like the product's too homogenized or however you want to put it now, there's plenty of other product out there to choose from.
Absolutely.
There's a New Japan Pro Wrestling who just killed it over here in Long Beach the other
were
week.
you there?
Nope.
No.
Wait,
Did you see it though? Did you see it?
I could have been there, but I just didn't feel like leaving the house.
Yeah.
Did you know what match did I just watch today that we watched?
I have no idea.
Whatever
You just
that
showed me
is.
from a distance. And it was
Yeah,
great.
and it's also the only Japanese wrestling I've ever watched
What were
in
you
my
watching?
life. But
Like
it would
the
be
Young
interesting.
Bucks and Kenny Omega?
It wasn't Kenny Omega, but I think it's what Kenny Omega does. It was a guy. It's like the Golden something.
Golden
Golden
Lovers.
Yeah, was that
Yeah,
him?
that's Kenny Omega,
and Ibushi.
Versus the
Yeah.
Young Bucks. Did you see it?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
They're doing some
I could
crazy
sit
stuff.
and pick little things
Sure.
apart,
Sure.
but I do that with my own stuff too.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to do that.
And how do you feel about because New Japan they're not as heavy on like the storylines like WWE and stuff, but
They are, but it's just not that. They don't present it the same.
Right, and
And,
then-
their storylines revolve around, I'm better than you.
Yeah.
I want your title.
yeah.
My style, your style's weak. Mine's better than yours.
Well, they do like to break
Like
that
the
fourth
Wu-Tang
wall
album.
too with like they're like, oh, strong style. I'm really hitting him. You're like, wait
Yeah.
a minute.
Yeah.
Are we
and
supposed to
there's-
pretend like they're
not
all really hitting each other?
Yeah, they're not really like, hey, I'm trying to steal your girlfriend. I'm trying like all these crazy.
Yeah, I love those.
Yeah.
Which is great too, but that's not what they're doing.
That's not what they're doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
The competition.
Because I'd never heard of strong style till Shinsuke came over and he goes, "Oh yeah, this guy's like the king of strong style." I was
Yeah.
like, "What's strong style?" And
Just
he's like, "It
knocking
means."
the shit out of each other for
Which
real.
is that seems so unfair. I'm under the impression they're all just knocking the shit out of each other. That's what we're supposed to let So like the idea is like, no, he really punches. You're like, that's not good.
I think that's why they toned him down, right?
Listen,
to.
those years and like the Attitude Era and all that. Trust me, man. Those matches felt like strong style to me, man.
They
We were
are.
going
Yeah,
out
yeah,
there.
Strong style.
Hey, when a guy took one of my kicks, I'm sure they
Of course.
didn't think it was weak style.
Of course. Yeah. It's like that's what's such a strange thing is they're supposed to go like, oh, all that was like regular style.
Yeah.
These guys, you're like, yeah, I'm led to believe they're
Yeah.
all doing it
yeah.
as strong as they can, you know?
Yeah, you say that when we also watch Shane's punches just completely miss a guy.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that is actually
Yeah,
pretty
and
true.
still hurt you.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Hell
We
yes.
love to tease Shane McMahon.
Trust
We
me.
love Shane.
Well,
But
did
like
you were
those
like
punches
one
are
of
the
the
worst
first that he-
punches in wrestling.
You're like one of the first he worked with, right?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know this. Wait,
Yeah.
so what would you say?
At WrestleMania
WrestleMania.
15, it was like second on like if everyone's to be honest about it, it was second match from the top as far as like what was put into promoting the match.
Right.
You know, I was asked to be Shane's opponent for that, and
Was that when he was with the Mean Street Posse?
yeah, they brought
no
that
chance.
all that in for that storyline.
Oh,
It was
wow.
great, man.
I loved that music. That was my favorite music in wrestling.
we had
Major
20 some
Posse.
minutes
Yeah.
for that match, and he had never been in a match other than a little quick
Yeah, whatever.
1 minute match or-
Storyline thing.
Yeah, he'd never been in a real match before, and he killed it.
Really? I
Yeah.
love it. Yeah, he is one of the greatest. Like I don't like those punches, and I'll stand by that.
That's
But,
just like that movement,
looks
like that
weird,
herky
yeah.
jerky movement. But he
like
knows
we
what
watch
to do.
it, because WWE Network has so many things that we'll just like watch that even just so much content on that channel. But like they'll show like even today they were doing Kurt Angle's like slideshow. Do you ever watch those? Photo shoot. That's what it's
Yeah.
called. And he's telling the story about how he like tried to throw Shane through the glass and it didn't break, and Shane lands on his head, and they're replaying it as he's telling the story. And it's like, oh my god, Shane maybe not the best. Like
He
You wouldn't
sold.
put him in the top 10 of like when you think of wrestlers. However, as a glutton for pain.
You know what I
Nice.
like about Shane, man? And this is obviously just me. First of all, I'm a WWE guy. So whenever y'all went back to New Japan or Ring of Honor, I'm like, that's
You're
what's
lost.
up.
Yeah, I don't
but
know none of
WWE, like Shane, I respect that. First of all, when he came back, I was like, yo, I want Shane to come back. And he came back and he looks incredible. Like he
Yeah.
looks better now than when he was young.
Oh, way better.
He was
Yeah.
super, a little chubby in the beginning. And then now he came back literally ripped up. I'm like, yo, Shane's trying to get it.
Absolutely. Well, his dad's always been strong too, which
Yeah.
is weird.
Vince,
I've
how
always
old
thought
is
it was
Vince?
strange. I always thought like when he did the whole thing with Stone Cold and he'd like take off his shirt and I was like, I didn't want the boss to be all strong. I was like, now I'm kind of rooting for the boss.
Yo.
The boss is cool.
Vince
looking.
You're a
always
body
been
guy. That's
ripped.
why. You're a
Secret
body
boss.
guy.
Yeah. I'm a big.
Yeah.
I'm a shamer.
So Shane and I
Yeah.
are similar in age, and so he and we kind of bonded my early days there as 1, 2, 3 kid, and so he and I went skydiving together. We'd obviously never done that.
So he's always jumping off high
Yeah,
shit.
man.
Man.
Yes, and I was so scared. It was on. They showed it on TV,
Oh,
but
really?
they didn't show Shane because he was trying to kayfabe his mom and dad. You know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but he just jumped out backwards.
Really?
Yeah,
No fear.
like nothing.
Jeez.
He's
How many
I was
tables
scared.
did he land on when he jumped out of the plane?
after he skydived. Well, here's the thing. He skydived in this story. We know that he survived a helicopter crash.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Hell in a Cell. He jumped off that
Twice.
big rat. Like, it's insane.
Twice.
The guy's always jumping
done
off
that
high
twice.
crap.
Yeah.
It's good. It's part of
That's
his life.
fearless, dude. That is extremely fearless.
I don't know. Well, how often do you get in the ring now? Or is it,
It varies, but usually like
because I see you on things. You'll put
4
on your,
times a month,
yeah,
maybe.
that's a lot.
Yeah,
Still
Yeah.
looking good, man.
I feel pretty good.
But but and those are full matches,
Tag matches.
tag matches.
Yep.
Okay, that's
Full
incredible.
tag matches.
Yeah. Well, I just know like sometimes some of my buddies that like Sean has introduced me to, they still do it 4 times a month, but
Yeah.
they're not in the ring. They don't want to do it in the ring. They'll show up and it's kind of like
Yeah, but here's how I feel about that. Even though, okay, it's not that fun when the matches suck, and more than occasionally they end up sucking. Yeah.
Well, they got you with
'cause
guys who don't know what they're doing, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
God bless them. They try, man.
yeah, it's not you.
Yeah.
it's them. Yeah.
So I feel like it's, man, when you're actually performing live, whether you're doing stand up or what I'm doing, you're getting that, instant,
Rush. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yep.
You're shot of like uncut shit in the vein. And so I want to keep doing that as long as I can.
Yeah.
For sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
great feeling.
And
Yeah.
I'm not getting hurt, a little bit here and there.
Yeah, you're like, I might be sore tomorrow, but this is worth
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
tonight.
Yeah. And,
I love
and
that.
I'm not really letting people, mess with my head anymore. Like I did get a concussion again last year, and
Oof.
in England.
Well, your finishing move, you don't risk your head at all, right?
No.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. And how about my arrest last year? Did you hear about that?
No, I didn't hear about this.
Well, I mean, I guess maybe if you're busy working every day, you might not have time to look at TMZ.
Let me say
No,
something. Jeff is always
but
on the
man,
road
I
from the
got,
pictures
I got
I see.
arrested
Jesus.
for. Here's the deal. Usually people ask me about this. I don't bring it up, but
I think I heard you talk about it with Austin on his podcast.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's hear it.
I was heading to England, and just so happens, Customs and Border Patrol must not have anything better to do than check people on the way out of the country. Yeah, I
never heard of that.
fucking heard of that in my life,
Yeah.
and I even told them as much.
Yeah.
So
This is unusual.
yeah,
Usually I'm scot free right now.
yeah. I had some edibles for the flight
Okay.
and a couple other little like cannabis things for the flight, and
I didn't even know you could get in trouble. This is how naive I am. I didn't even know you could
You
get in trouble for
can't.
that. I didn't know that.
That's the point.
you can't.
Oh, you
And-
can't get in trouble. Okay.
Not here in California, which
Yeah.
is what pissed them off. So, just to make a long story short, this one asshole just can't get me arrested for anything. So he makes up that a jug of capsules that I have are crystal meth.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh, my-
all over everywhere. I was crystal meth with intent to sell. For 2 months.
I'm
People
gonna look
believe that
something up.
shit.
I think I did hear about this.
Yeah.
But we heard about it before, And then the next day, Sean goes, "Oh, it's not what it was." Sean texted
Sure.
me it. I said, "Oh no," but this was a long time ago, wasn't it? A
Yeah,
while?
but it was last year. It was
Oh.
around this time, a little after. It was in April 29th.
Yeah, and he was
actually.
like, "Oh, it's nothing. It's all
Yeah.
nonsense." Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
but the thing is I'm sitting in jail for 2 days before anyone even knows where the hell I'm at.
That's insane. Wouldn't you? And your instinct too would be like, "I need everyone to know, like this is horse crap.
Yeah.
Like this is not like
Mhm.
Yeah.
that's the worst feeling in the world."
Yeah,
Well,
that sucked.
I
But
hate
but man, the difference is, man, I was sober and I knew I didn't do anything.
sure.
Every other time I was in a LA County jail, man.
Yeah, you
That's exactly where I was supposed to be.
You were reminiscing,
Yeah.
reflecting. Yeah.
Yeah. So I knew it was going to be a bump in the road and
Yeah, for
everything,
sure.
but I knew it was going to end up okay.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
you know,
it
it's
really
funny that.
fucked me, Jeff.
Yeah,
It
I
fucked
bet.
me, man. I lost a lot of work, and people were like, "Oh, we were really rooting
People
for him."
only
and he
heard the
was doing
first story.
good."
They didn't hear
Yeah.
that it was nothing. Yeah, I imagine.
Yeah,
Man, that's the worst. The I do recall it because Sean will always send me like stories of like people that he's had that he's worked with or whatever, and then like Sunny. Every time she would get arrested, he
Yeah.
would like send me the story or whatever. And you know what? I'm wondering if maybe I sent it to him. Maybe I did hear about it. And I was like, yeah, but Sean like was always like, oh, there's nothing. They're just making crap.
They
up."
never publicized the second story, which happens to be the truth or the retraction of the first.
TMZ
yeah.
did, man.
Oh,
did?
that's incredible.
TMZ took
Good.
really good care of me.
That's
Because
incredible.
in between waiting for the DA to reject the case, I had a lie detector, a polygraph examiner come on my show, and I took it live on my show.
Nice.
And my
Oh,
lawyer's going, "Don't do that."
Yeah. Well, that's the I've wanted to do this for so long, and I've yet to do this in every place I've lived. Well, luckily I'll be here for a while, but I've wanted
You
to
own
have
the place.
Yeah,
You
but
will be here.
I'm like, you know what I always get.
Yeah.
I get a big project, and I'm like, I'm gonna get a bigger house. So eventually, I want to do this thing where I have everyone who I love, who I'm friends with, I want their mugshot. And I'm gonna start a wall, and I'm gonna have it. And I'm telling you, but like the problem is like none of my friends have like came through. Like Brant, he's been arrested like 2 or 3 times. Brian, my buddy Brian Moot, he's the only one who sent me his. His mom has one, and his dad has one that they've promised me they're gonna give me. I want your mugshot.
They're
It's
all
probably
brutal.
online.
They're all brutal because they're all usually like I was, doing drugs at the time,
Sure.
whether it was meth or something like that.
But how great! I want to get arrested just to have a mugshot. I've talked about this a bunch. I'm
tons of
gonna
them.
streak on a soccer field. or I'm gonna run on a soccer
Let me
field.
tell you
That's how I'm
something,
gonna
You
get
Jeff.
can almost like if you had a deck of cards, you could put a different mug shot on every
a deck of
card,
cards.
almost.
You should
That'd be
merchandise
amazing.
that. You should
Yeah,
merchandise
that'd be
that.
amazing. That'd be
money.
the best.
That's
That's the
money.
best merch I've ever heard.
But maybe that's insane. Maybe 15 times. Yeah,
That's
maybe.
crazy.
And I'm just taking a guess
But
because
here's the next question.
and it's all
Why have
this
you
like
not
drug
written
stuff.
a book?
Oh,
I am in the process right now.
Good.
Nice.
Yeah.
I will do whatever it takes
Yeah.
to help you write. Like I want you. That would be the best book ever.
Man.
Yeah.
Anybody, and I'll say, forget your wrestling career, forget all that. Anyone who's even just been arrested 15 times, I'm reading that book.
It's going to be a pretty heavy book, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
And already it's caused it's brought up a lot of things back
Yeah.
up to the surface that
Yeah.
that my mind has very carefully inserted into little
Yep.
places,
Yeah.
into these little files in the back of my brain.
But it's also
that,
good, like-
don't open these.
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah,
And here I
therapeutic,
am
but like
opening them.
therapeutic to like reflect and
Yeah.
to like, oh,
Yeah.
that's so good.
Like, okay, there was a few years ago, I wouldn't have been ready to do this,
Yeah.
Mm.
Right.
Well, who's one of our mutual friends? I'm not going to say his name, but he was like, "Oh, I'd love to write a book," and it's like that old expression, like, "I'd love to write a book and then just call it a fiction so that
Yeah.
I could write all the true
All the
story."
tru-
Yeah. But like, yeah, I would read that book in a second, because like just like all the different circuits you've worked,
And it's
like,
not. It's just okay. The stuff that's not about wrestling is actually the
most interesting part.
yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying those circuits like have like a lifestyle attached to it that are like,
Sure.
the travel and just.
It was just the culture of our industry
Yeah.
for years.
And then they tell you not to, and you're like, oh, I have to like turn all this off.
yeah.
And then you go to a different one, they're like, oh, it's fine here again. And like just, the relationships and like,
Great
anyway.
points.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's hard.
Dude.
I've seen like a lot of okay, let me just put it this way. There's been a few ladies that have made it through and kept their marriages while being and I have nothing but respect for them.
For
Trish
sure.
Stratus.
Oh, really? The whole time? That's insane.
Huge respect for her. She kept it professional and she knew how to handle herself.
Well, and also, like, let's say you're let's say you're just a regular lady or a regular guy, and let's say you're dating a wrestler.
Yeah.
Now you have to be so secure that they're gone on the road all the time, working so many nights a week, traveling to get. Like, you have to just trust. Oh, I hope she doesn't fall in love with that dude with the perfect abs who's like doing the same industry as her, who's succeeding in the same business as her. And so it would take a crazy person to date a wrestler who's not in wrestling, and the other way around. Like, you're like, my boyfriend, he works at Microsoft back. Like, what are you talking about? Date a wrestler. Get out of here with that. It's nuts. I would expect her to dump me. Like, no,
I just don't know if I would, and I'm not a jealous person, really. Like, maybe, I mean, not the physical part. I'm jealous over the emotional attachment to somebody else.
Yeah, the physical, I don't really care about it. But if it's one of those things where now that directly affects me, like, for example, if you're like, your lady does something special for you, she cooks for you, or she asks you about your day, and then now she's dealing with this guy and she doesn't ask you, then you're like, I think I'm having a problem now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but I don't care about the physical.
Because, like, I know, like, a lot of girls who are like, I don't date comedians. And I was like, yeah, you shouldn't. like, that's fine. You don't need, like, that wouldn't be a thing. You can go back to your home with a regular person and, like, live your regular life. And, like, you can even bring, like, your spouse on the road. Do any people bring their spouses, like, on the road with them?
Some
wrestlers do?
Yeah.
That would make sense.
Yeah. Maybe now it might, but it wasn't a good idea, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because
subjecting them to, like,
getting on the plane with other guys and other guys acting like they do, and
of course,
now
you got to defend your friend making like dirty jokes, you're
farting and like doing stupid shit.
It's the way Jeff acts when he brings a girl to any comedy club. He's like, all these comedians hitting on my chick.
Exactly. Yeah, that's
With
why I
all
don't
their
bring
jokes.
girls. I won't bring girls to comedy because I'm just like, no, I want to be.
You're just throwing blood in the water.
I want to be another comedian. I'm at work, baby. Like, I want to, like, joke around with you, and I don't want to, like, host you. I don't want to be like, I got to stand by you, and I got, she wants a drink. That's all. Like, I don't want to deal with that. I'm going to comedy to be a comedian, to live my life, tell jokes, chop it up. If I see someone I want to go talk to, I don't want to have to be like, oh, this is a girl I brought. They're like, I don't want to deal with it.
First, my lady just started doing stand-up about a week ago.
Oh, no.
We had a
how
conversation.
Do you feel about this? Really?
This is how I feel. I'm going to be honest to God with you, man.
Probably won't hear this because who will, but listen.
I honestly am supportive of her because she's always done improv comedy. You know, she's an actress. And I said, look, you're going to always wonder what if you don't do it.
Yeah.
Go do it. If you trash and you don't want to do it no more, don't do it. If you like it, keep doing it. But I support her because one, I'm not a competitive person, one. And two, I've been doing comedy so long. I'm like, I need to see something new happen.
Sure.
So it's like, I'm happy for her. But I say that to say, I pick and choose the shows that I bring her to because I don't like hosting. I don't like being like babysitting. Oh, hey, go sit right here. Oh, let me get her something.
Yes.
Like, I just like to go in, perform, and if I want to leave, I can
Aren't you
just
afraid
leave.
she might be like, oh, like let's say there's some comic you're not crazy about. It's just some guy. And she's like, isn't he so nice? Like, isn't that gonna bother you? She's gonna have her own like little.
I want her, first of all, I want her to have her own little comedy crew, which she'll develop as all new comedians do. But the attraction to other comics, let me tell
Not
you
the
something.
attraction like romantically, but like won't you be annoyed if she's like
I heard
let's
this
say we
joke
didn't
about
get
this.
along and then she's like, oh, I met this comedian tonight, Jeff died, and you're like, really? And she's like, he's so nice. He's nice to you. You're a beautiful woman, of course. Like
You know the difference. I hear exactly what you're saying. I'm gonna tell you why. I wouldn't trip off of that, but I wouldn't trip off of it, but she would, because when I started hanging out with you, she was like, oh, are you going back over there to watch wrestling with Jeff and Aaron and Richard? And I'm like, yeah. Oh, can I come? No, it's all guys. It's all guys.
That's amazing.
I want her to form her own wrestling group.
That'd be the worst.
Yeah, you know
You'd
what?
be jealous
You
of
get
that.
your wrestling friends at your open mics. I'll have mine.
You're a better man than me. I don't think I would be very annoyed. Not because I'm a jealous guy, even though I am a jealous guy, but that's not why. I've always been a jealous guy.
Listen, man, I am shocked to hear this because I guess it's like when you see your favorite celebrities or people, whoever, we put them on such pedestals and they're like, hey, I'm just a regular guy.
Yeah.
Man, the way I look at you is so opposite of that. I would
Well, when it
never
comes
guess
to a
it.
woman, I think that it, like for me, like it's like, I think it's healthy. I think she should be jealous of me too. Because it just means I like her
bit.
so much that I don't
A
want
bit.
her. Yeah, I just like her so
Yeah.
much, and I can easily. I'll have to coach myself out of it in my own brain. So like, I'll give an example. I was with this girl. We went to a place, and Justin Forsett, who at the time was the running back for the Seahawks, I thought this was gonna be my guy. I was like, oh, I love Justin Forsett. Like, I'm gonna we're gonna be buddies. We're gonna have some whiskey together. And I went over there. He kind of snubbed me, and then he was like flirting with my girlfriend. And then she was just being nice. She didn't do anything wrong, and I know that she didn't do anything wrong. However, it pissed me off. And so when we got home, I'm being snotty and I'm being short with her, and she's like, what is your problem? And I was like, what I'm gonna tell you is illogical. I know it's illogical. I wanted that attention from you because I'm your boyfriend, and I felt like you were kind of flirting with him, and like I wanted that, and I also wanted it from him. I wanted him to like me, and I thought so. I know it's illogical. I know you're not gonna date Justin Forsett. I know he's not gonna try and be with you, but just watching it made me feel crummy, and that's a jealousy thing. But what I was gonna say with what you were saying, I would be jealous if my girlfriend did stand up. Which I don't have a girlfriend. Let's put that out there. Just because that's my thing. Don't you like want it to be your thing, like in the house?
Man, that's another thing, man. Like, I do stand up, I act, and I write. So and this is gonna sound
You can't claim all the lanes.
man, you know what I mean? So it's
Share
like
wealth, man.
this is gonna sound egotistical, but at the same time, it's gonna sound really humble. I'm so confident at what I can do that I don't even see any competition. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So with her, I just want her to win and find something that she loves with anybody.
Beautiful.
And that's why you're the greatest
That's
human. You're like my favorite person. That's what I was saying. We got full circle. I said you've got just like a radiant energy of like
Thank you,
positivity,
man.
and you're a great man. I'm flattered you guys are both here in my house. This has been a great episode.
Man,
you
I'm
guys
so
are both
pissed
welcome.
it's over.
I know. You guys are welcome back anytime.
2 years. It's been. I haven't.
Yeah, but now we're neighbors.
No. I was just gonna say 2 years. No women. No girlfriend. Nothing.
Seriously,
Yeah.
attaboy.
Yeah.
That's the
Congrats.
life I
I'm
feel a
so
lot more
happy, man.
at peace getting to know yourself.
Really?
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And why would I fuck that recipe up? Like every other time I've had like gravitated towards a relationship, like that was like out of like some kind of a need to fill some hole that
Sure,
could never
sure,
fill.
Right.
You know? So and then I get attached if I just try to have like, if she's hot enough for me to end up with and we have that chemistry for me to end up in bed with, I'm going to get attached.
Yeah.
So I'm staying.
It changes all your
Away
positive
from it,
habits,
man.
and it like kind of throws off
Yeah.
the system. Yeah, I agree
Date
with
So
that.
you've
myself.
not smashed anybody.
Nothing.
You ain't
Date
been in a
myself.
He said no
Really?
girlfriend. He didn't say he hasn't smashed.
That's
no,
what I was
nothing.
Really?
No, nothing.
Jeez.
He said no girls.
Nothing.
Listen, I was giving
Dude.
Clayton all this credit. I was giving Clayton all this. We got a monk in here.
got a
Like this is like
monk.
you're like the greatest.
Man.
I reserve the right to change my mind at any time, but I
Absolutely.
don't see it happening anytime
Hey,
soon.
after people hear
Because
this,
I've had a lot. And the more I feel strongly about that, the more I have a lot of offers
Yeah.
coming out,
Sure.
coming
Oh,
my
yeah,
way.
for sure, and that feels great.
Yeah,
works.
and like some
Yeah.
barely famous people, I'm not going to mention, but
I love it,
Man.
guys.
well,
Thank
You
you.
have to
maybe
mention it, but you
D-list.
can write it
Not that
down.
famous.
Yeah, we can maybe get.
But it was flattering.
Guys, thank you for being on this. Before
Thanks.
we end it, do your Twitter. When this goes up, I'm gonna plug all your dates and stuff. But just give them where they can find you.
Go immediately to Team Clayton Thomas on Facebook and Instagram. I would love to hear from you.
Next time you're on, I want to talk about how you make so many videos, and it's
Oh, yeah.
inspiring how
Thank you, man.
much you do those. And I wish I could commit to anything like that, but it's very good.
You
So
have a
yeah, that's
YouTube
at Team
channel?
Clayton.
Yeah, but I'm more on the gram and Facebook.
Oh, gotcha.
Sean, what do you got on plug, man?
Well, my show every Wednesday, X-Pac 12360. Jim
like
Ross
that.
Jr. was on this week's.
Nice.
Yeah, there's always somebody. Anyways. That's on Wednesdays. We're at Westwood 1, and after Buzz TV, that's Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergrows.
Nice.
My Twitter is at the real X-Pac.
All these
the
fakers,
real
man.
X-Pac.
There you go.
And I have an Instagram. I think it's just real X-Pac without the.
Perfect.
Instagram for Lula.
Lulu's got an Instagram.
It's Baby Lula. ITS Baby Lula.
Sean, we're friends, and I love you to death. But if that dog has more followers than me, I'm gonna,
No.
I'm gonna be. I told you I'm a jealous
No,
guy.
she doesn't.
I'll tell you I'm a jealous guy. And if
We're
that
not
dog,
that active on Instagram yet.
Aaron, plug your stuff, baby.
I'm at Aaron and Marsh on everything.
Love it.
Boom.
Tony,
Yeah. I am Tony Reavis on Instagram and Twitter.
Cool. I just want to say thanks to all the patrons and all the Patreons. You guys can check it out live. Watch it if you're subscribed to the Patreon, which is just patreon.com/Jeff Dye. And this has been my favorite episode so far.
A lot of fun.
That's
Good. Thanks, guys.
Sweet.
Friendship.
How great was that? 2 guests for the price of 1, and we're not going to charge you double. But if you'd like to donate double, that'd be great. Still looking for some sponsors. If you want to sponsor an episode, this episode was brought to you by Fat Scooter. They gave me a free Fat Scooter, and I've been riding it around, and it's a cool scooter to have. So thank you, Fat Scooter. Reach out to us if you want to sponsor an episode. Thanks for listening. If you haven't already, subscribe, rate, review. And to all my patrons, thank you very much. If you'd like to be a patron, go to patreon.com/Jeff Dye. And you can watch the podcast and get free comedy tickets and a bunch of other goodies. We love you guys. From me, Tony, Aaron, Clayton, and Sean. Don't call me X-Pac Waltman. Thanks for listening.